Alistair, I'm going to stop sharing. We're going to go now. We're not going to go straight to Brett. We're going to go back to Alistair. So Alistair, would you mind sharing your screen while I find myself? And Alistair's going to take us through his examples of how this technology can begin to be applied. And then the next panelist is Brett. Thanks so much.
Great. Perfect. Just confirming you can see my screen. Perfect. All right. So all I'm going to do is just show some sites that I think that are worth visiting. Importantly, I just want to highlight that we don't advocate particular software vendors or technologies. This is just, if you're an entrepreneur, what's a good, safe way to start? For everybody who would like to check out blockchain, I would recommend visiting these guys. The pack that you're looking at on the screen now is going to be sent to you afterwards. Next week, you'll be receiving something called a digital Sherpa. So you don't have to remember the URLs, just what you can have a look at. If you are brand new to blockchain and you're not sure what to do, there's an orientation that you can go through. There is a sandbox that you can sign up for over here. You can work with other people in this domain. And importantly, Jody, in Australia, you said, like, where do I find other people? Dreamers and doers reinventing what's possible. There's a short orientation podcast, and there's a group of people that are participating in these areas where you can join and explore and have a look at next steps. Now, so this is a good place to go and have a look. You'll meet people. You'll have access to a sandbox, which is not going to cost you anything. It will show you how to build some stuff, and you can experiment without having to break things. Jody, blockchain in the legal industry. I would recommend having a look at Consensus. There is a very, very capable, absolutely amazing Uruguay woman in Johannesburg by the name of Professor Monica Singer, who 20 years ago democratized the way that stock exchanges work. And she's created this entity called Consensus. And she's helping to kind of conquer this domain. I recommend connecting with her on LinkedIn. You can reference democratizing entrepreneurship. She knows about us. Follow this area. You're going to see some stuff in terms of what can you build in this domain. Copy some of the ideas and do it yourself, and see if you can take that to Australia. The last thing is worldwide. If you want to understand what's happening in the legal fraternity, please pay these guys a visit. I'll share it with you afterwards, but the Blockchain Law Center will give you what's happening week by week in terms of what's getting built and what you can do. Lots of nice, valuable lessons to be learned from them that you can go back and build in this playground. This is where it starts getting fun. Now, teachable machines. There's a reason why I've got these 2, 4, and 5-year-old boys on the screen, is because if I look at the maturity of narrow artificial intelligence, it is the equivalent of a 4 or 5-year-old's cognitive ability. Now, I don't have soft, fluffy toys, but I am going to, I'm going to put myself on the screen. This, just to remind you, is I'm going to teach a machine how to recognize certain things. So I have 2 webcams. What's important is that I'm going to use this thing called class 1 and class 2 to train it. It will learn from what I show, and then I can make it do something. So I have another webcam next to me over here, and I'm going to put my hand out there, and I'm going to hold and I'm going to record this. So this is live on the internet, and I'm going to record only 120 images because that's enough. Then I'm going to switch it on, and this is not going to be elegant, but I'm going to go here, and I'm going to stand in front of my machine and watch all of you. And I'm going to train this thing called a convolutional neural network. Don't worry about the word. Just know that if you're an entrepreneur and you go to this platform, you will be able to take 2 types of live video feeds, train it, and it will recognize stuff. Now, you can use this, for example, in fashion retail. I've only seen a few places in the world that, for example, allow you to use your mobile phone, which you can deploy this technology I'm showing you now for people to try on clothes to see how it fits. Now have a look on the left. You see my hand and it says class 1 is orange. When I go and stand around here, it's gone pink. That is a very simple example of how me as an entrepreneur has trained a convolutional neural network to recognize 2 things. Now imagine if you were to take this and create a retail experience across Africa. Why do I have to climb into a taxi? Why must I go to a mall Why do I need to go to a shop when I can be an entrepreneur anywhere in Africa and use a demonetized technology like this on a mobile phone to create a retail experience? You can use this if you're an entrepreneur to recognize objects, valuation of stuff, insurance. There are many, many hundreds of use cases for this. So you can do stuff with language. I recommend visiting and having a look at what's happening there. Importantly, it's useful to go and have a look at a school in terms of AI can be hideously complex, but I recommend paying this a visit where you can go directly, for example, into training. You can log in and you'll notice here's a 30-minute lesson. It's at a basic level on how to create intelligent bots. What I'm doing is I'm showing you the backbone of blockchain to build a business. I've showed you intelligent machines that you can train without coding. And then there's a school where you can go and learn about what types of things you can do. Without being radical, I think that email is going to see its own demise between 2025 and 2030 because of the advent of conversational AI and chatbots. There's an awesome outfit called OutSystems, and these guys will give you what I call Lego blocks in terms of building a system. It says here chatbot configurator. Why would you ever want to code something which is complex like natural language processing when you can build and put things together? All right. So this is a good place to learn how to build a chatbot. It's step by step. It's fresh. Notice that it's 2020. And then very, very, very importantly is before you just deploy conversational interfaces, your customer is always at the center of that experience, without a doubt. I'm going to show you how you can frustrate a customer with conversational AI shortly. But here, you normally start with the customer experience. OutSystems have thought about this already. So you can build an experience. You can stick a chatbot interface in there to make it fast and easy to interact. And if you want to, you can add things like teachable machines to work inside your business. And you don't need to, you can scale yourself and your idea basically. 6 minutes. I've got 4 minutes. One of my favorites out there, which is a little bit funky, is Digital Humans. Soul Machines is the first conversational AI company I've seen in the world that is doing something called machine personality design. Yay! Imagine a machine having a personality. If you're an entrepreneur, please go and visit. These guys. Sam is sitting in New Zealand, and she's a really good example of what it's like to have conversational AI. I'm going to talk to her for 20 seconds, but I want to show you where these guys have missed it in the customer journey, which is why you as an entrepreneur can spot a gap.
Hello, I'm Sam, your guide to soul machines. What's your name?
Hey, Sam, my name is Alistair, and I'm chatting to you from South Africa.
Great. Nice to meet you, Alistair. Have you ever chatted with a digital person before?
Yes, I have, many, many times.
It's not you. It's me. I need a break or a question I know the answer to.
Right. I purposefully chose a statement where I know it's going to fail. If you do not design your customer experience properly first, your conversational advanced robots will fail. This is so we're not at the level of artificial and general intelligence. And I did that on purpose to understand there is a huge opportunity and need for entrepreneurs to design your customer interaction first and then stick these cognitive technologies in there. All right. So it's still customer principles first. Second last thing, if you have a business already and you want to infuse artificial intelligence to your current business, OutSystems have thought out some very nice big modules around cognitive, machine learning, and conversational. How are they researching OutSystems? All right. These are really nice ways to connect what you've got at the moment. So you don't need to reinvent your world. You can start, this is like adding electricity to your business. You used to drill holes manually, now you add electricity. You used to do business online, now you add AI. Same thing. Here is a how-to kind of straightforward guide. I recommend having a look at what you can do here. It removes the complexity of coding and it focuses you on working on your business rather than the admin inside the business. Super important. Okay. This is the first starting blocks on how you reinvent and inject AI into your capability. And then the last bit here is something called Forge. I've called it AI Forge Accelerator. this is super useful because it's people all around the world that have put something on the equivalent of a marketplace that allows you to reuse open code, read free and democratized, connectors, components for user interfaces and business solutions. So you don't spend all your time coding, you spend your time solving problems. And here I just want to quickly put something called Amazon. If you want to connect to all the heavy cognitive technologies like Amazon, GCP, Microsoft Azure, even boutiques, if you want to connect, I'm going to give you a wild example that you can do in a day. If you want to connect an IoT device in Kenya with Bloemfontein and Washington and put it on a dashboard in a day, you can connect hardware to software using this IoT connector. All right. That sounds wild, but it's so heavily democratized that it allows you to plug this in to your platform and connect to devices. All right. So when you think about agri-tech, it's there. If you want to introduce, for example, facial recognition and interaction on retail experiences, you don't even have to go build it. This stuff is pre-built, Amazon recognition. So I think that's a whistle-stop tour. And I want to hand over back to Craig.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Alistair. That was awesome.